Have you ever felt like you're on the outside looking in when it comes to building wealth? Well, today, we're going to change that. We're breaking down an incredible blueprint for financial freedom, inspired by Tony Robbins' Money Master the Game. Think of this as your personal playbook for turning financial stress into real, lasting strength.
So, let's kick things off with a number that might feel, well, a little too familiar. Research shows that a staggering 77% of Americans feel financial stress. That's almost 8 out of every 10 people. Feeling that pressure, worrying about bills, and just feeling uncertain about the future. It's a huge common problem, but it absolutely does not have to be your reality forever. So, here's the big question for you. Are you ready to leave that 77% behind and join the other side? Because that's exactly what we're here to do today. Map out a clear path to get you from financial anxiety to financial confidence. The real key here is to stop seeing money as this big, mysterious, complicated thing. You gotta start seeing it for what it is, a game. And you know what? Like any game, it has rules. And once you learn the rules, you can learn to play it, and you can actually win.
Okay, so our very first move has nothing to do with spreadsheets or stock tickers. It's all about a massive mindset shift. And it all boils down to one simple, fundamental question about your relationship with money. Who is in charge here?
This quote from Sir Francis Bacon just nails it. Money can either work for you, serving your goals, your dreams, your family, or it can control you, making your decisions for you and causing constant anxiety. The whole journey to wealth really begins the moment you decide which one it's going to be.
Seriously, take just a second and think about it. Right now, in your life, is money your servant or is it your master? Being totally honest with yourself right here, right now, that is the first and honestly the most important step to taking back control. So, you might be asking, okay, great, but how do I actually do that? How do we go from just an idea to something real? Well, it all starts with one simple but incredibly powerful action that you can literally set up today. I want you to meet your new best friend, the Freedom Fund. This is not just another savings account. No, this is a declaration. It's you deciding to build your future. And the secret sauce here is automation. By having a piece of your paycheck automatically moved into this fund, you are paying yourself first, building wealth without ever having to rely on willpower. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, I don't earn enough for this to really matter, I want you to hear the story of Theodore Johnson. He was a UPS worker who started way back in 1924. And what he accomplished is it's mind-blowing. Here's the thing, Theodore Johnson never made a big salary. Not even close. His strategy wasn't some complex secret. He wasn't trying to time the market. He just did one simple thing, over and over with incredible consistency. He saved and invested 20% of every single paycheck he ever got.
And the result of that one simple, consistent action, by the time he was 90 years old, his portfolio was worth over $70 million. Let that sink in. This just proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the incredible power of consistency over having a huge starting sum.
Now that $70 million number, it might sound like absolute magic, but it's not. It's pure math. It's the result of a force that Albert Einstein himself supposedly called the eighth wonder of the world. And that unstoppable force is compound interest. This is the engine that will power your Freedom Fund. It's so simple. Your money earns a profit, and then that profit starts earning its own profit. It creates this snowball effect that just gets bigger and bigger, and over time it becomes this incredible, unstoppable force for creating wealth. This right here, this represents the single biggest mental shift you need to make. See, most of us are taught to trade our time for money, but there are only so many hours in a day, right? The investor mindset flips that completely. You stop working for money, and instead, you build a system where your money works for you. 24/7 with literally unlimited growth potential. Now to really get there, you've got to achieve mastery on 3 different levels. First up is cognitive. That's learning the rules, understanding the game. Exactly what we're doing right now. Second is emotional. This is where you develop the patience and the discipline to stick with the plan, especially when the markets get a little scary. And third is physical mastery. This is where you take consistent action, automating that Freedom Fund, and just sticking to it.
But look, a journey without a destination is, well, it's just wandering around. To truly win this money game, you have to know what winning actually looks like for you. You need to define your finish line.
So let's get really specific. I want you to forget these vague dreams of just being rich. What's your number?
How much money do you actually need to have invested so that the profits from it can cover your expenses and let you live the life you truly, truly want? When you calculate this number, a fuzzy wish turns into a concrete, achievable target.
The journey to that number usually follows 3 phases. First, you're in the accumulation phase, where you're just consistently building that freedom fund. Then you hit what's called critical mass, that incredible moment where your investments can actually support your lifestyle. And finally, you get to phase 3, decumulation, where you can live off the wealth you've built. That's freedom.
Now, building wealth is one thing, but keeping it? That's a whole other ballgame. This final section is all about playing smart defense. It's about how you win by making absolutely sure you don't lose.
You know, most experts agree there are 3 main keys to successful investing. What you pick is important, sure. When you buy is also important. But the single most critical decision, the one that really protects you from big losses, is asset allocation. That's just a fancy way of saying how you divide up your money among different types of investments.
So here's a great example of a diversified, what they call an all-weather portfolio. See how it's not all just thrown into high-risk stocks? That big chunk in bonds acts like a cushion when the stock market gets rocky, while stuff like gold can help protect you when inflation kicks in. The strategy here isn't about chasing crazy high returns. It's about getting steady, reliable growth no matter what the economy is doing.
And that's really the whole point. Look, anybody can make money when the market's on a hot streak. But true, lasting wealth is built by creating a system that protects what you have and keeps you in the game during those inevitable slumps. Smart allocation, that's your shield.
All right, so we've covered the mindset, your first step, the engine of growth, and the defensive strategy. The blueprint is laid out right in front of you. You know the rules of the game. So the only question left to ask is, are you ready to play?